For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Guys, today we have Dr. Dawnn Karen ma'am with us, and she is the author of Dress Your Best Life: How to Use Fashion Psychology to Take Your Look and Your Life to the Next Level. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. I'm truly grateful that you have chosen our show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure, ma'am. So, ma'am, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your book, about your upcoming projects and everything, I would request you to please introduce yourself so that our listeners can know much more about you. And do let us know how you started this writing journey as well.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Dawnn Karen. I am the world's first fashion psychologist. You're probably wondering, what is that? So I am all about styling from the inside out. So think, maybe people go to, a psychologist for their mental health or a doctor if they get sick. Well, you can go to me to heal your mental health utilizing fashion. I am also a professor as well. I am the first Black psychology woman professor or female professor at the Fashion Institute of Technology here in New York City. So I do a lot. I do a lot. I also have my own online school, the Fashion Psychology Institute, as well as my consultancy, Fashion Psychology Success. So I do a lot.
Definitely, ma'am. So, ma'am, as we can see, that book is performing really well on Amazon because,
Yes.
more than, 150 plus reviews are on the spot. Like, I guess it is around 168, something like that. And, the
Yes,
book rating is 4.6. That is tremendous for any kind of book, what I personally feel. So after listening to this podcast, many people will just love to explore this book. They would just love to, enhance their look, enhance their life game to the next level. They just love to get this level up thing. So can you share some insights so that our new readers, what they can expect from this book?
Yeah, so Dress Your Best Life. It's in a few languages, Russian, Spanish, Czech, and English. And so if you get it in English, obviously, you can expect to learn about the psychology behind color, why people may shop, so like the science behind shopping. You'll learn about cultural appropriation versus cultural appreciation. You'll learn how to apply fashion to your life if you're feeling sort of depressed or anxious. So those are some of the key takeaways from my book, Dress Your Best Life.
Okay. So, ma'am, this is your debut book, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So when it comes to this, ma'am, what I personally feel that you could have chosen some other topics as well when it comes to writing your first book, because you could have chosen some mass appealing topics like thriller, romance, and some other genres too. But you have specifically chosen this topic. So what was that one thing that stuck with you? Ki, no, I have to write on this particular topic. What was that one thing?
Yeah. So the one topic that I thought about sort of emphasizing is, as far as my book, is the cultural component. So I have a chapter called Your Woke Wardrobe, where I talk about how people may take things from other cultures, like fashions from other cultures, and may not show appreciation. And so that was one of the sort of key topics that I knew for a fact that I wanted to talk about.
Okay. So as of now, what's your current writing schedule? Every day you devote some particular hours to writing, or it's like random, someday you get some thoughts, you just jot it down on your phone, on your diary, and after that you elaborate those thoughts. How does it goes with you?
Yeah, for me, when writing this book, I did try to create a schedule where I was working on it day by day, but as a creative, I could go to sleep and then I could dream of something, and I'm like, oh, I want to put that in a book. And then I wake up and then I'm like, I'm writing about that. So I really it's kind of spontaneous. Like I said, I try to keep a schedule,
Hmm.
but things just come like randomly. So
Hmm.
whenever I feel tired, I allow myself to go to sleep and then I wake up and I have all of the content that I want to put in the book.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, ma'am, like we have talked about the perspective of a new reader. Now, let's talk about the people who have already read this book. So, what they can expect from you as of now? Are you writing something? You want to experiment a bit some on other genres too, or you want to stick to these only? What's in the pipeline, all
Um,
in all?
yeah, all in all, I am working on my second book.
Mm-hmm.
It will be delving into more psychology. So just think like part two of Dress Your Best Life. So I had to introduce, to the readers, the psychology behind fashion. I had to introduce mental health into the fashion industry. And so I had to introduce this. This was the first time that people began to learn about a topic like this. And
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really go that far like I do like when I teach or something. So the next book will just be part two and just go more in depth of
Mm-hmm.
my book, Dress Your Best Life.
Okay, okay, okay. So, ma'am, like we are in this in book industry for more than 8 years as of now, and personally, I have
Yeah.
been in touch with more than 200, 250 authors as of now. What I have
Wow.
personally seen that most of them are trying to build a certain kind of brand through their name, like they want to be known, they want to be remembered as a certain genre, or you can say certain type of author. So when it
Mhm.
comes to you, let's say if you have published a couple of books in the upcoming years, and if a
Mhm.
person have already read all your books and they see, okay, it's a new book by Dr. Dawn. So what
Mhm.
exact thought you want to let come on the reader mind? Okay, TK, if it is a book by Dr. Dawn, I will get such kind of
Mhm.
things. I will get such feelings. I will, get to know something about this. Have you ever thought about this personal branding thing, ma'am?
Yes, this personal branding thing. I've thought about it because I'm in the media
Hmm.
in so many countries around the world. So I'm always thinking about my personal brand. Um, yes, I'm always thinking about my personal brand. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. So as of now, like we have talked about your book, about your journey, about your upcoming projects and everything. Now let's come to your personal life. Like there must be a lot of moments which you tag as the happiest moment of my life, right? So if you can share any one of them with us, then that would be really great.
Oh, the happiest moment of my life. Oh, wow. And this could be anything. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'll try to focus on my life now.
Hmm.
Um, no, well, okay.
Hmm.
One of the happiest moments of my life is going to Disney World,
Okay.
and I believe I was 8 years old, and I got a chance to meet Cinderella. And I
Wow.
always remember this. I
Hmm.
always remember this because, you have to stand in line, or sometimes you don't get a chance to meet these kind of persons. And I remember, like, I remember going to Disney World saying I want to meet Cinderella, and I actually got
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
chance to meet her.
Hmm.
And so I would say that from my childhood, I would say that was one of the most memorable
Definitely.
or happiest moments. Yes, yes, yes.
Definitely, definitely. In fact, what I recall that I was not able to meet, but the first time I saw the keyring of Harry Potter in my life, I was I
Oh,
guess 5 or 6. I was, and I was
oh,
so amazed. Okay, I just watched these movies and I'm able to just get that keychain. Definitely, I can relate that if you're meeting the Cinderella, then
yes,
definitely that feeling is just beyond what
that
we can
feeling.
express in words.
Yes, and we always remember, as adults,
Definitely. Yeah. In fact, till now also, if I go somewhere and I see some keychain or some, that fridge magnets related to Harry Potter,
Yes.
I instantly just recall that first moment that I saw that person on TV, and
Yes.
what I generally thought at that time, I saw that person on TV, and now he's in my hand. So,
Yes, yes. This happened to me today. I was in the store. I was
hmm,
in the store and I saw a Cinderella
hmm,
teacup, and
hmm.
it just brought back that same memory.
Exactly, exactly. Ma'am. So,
Yes,
ma'am, now
yes,
let's get back to the time when you heard that, okay, tomorrow your book will be live. So on that
yes.
particular eve, what was going on in your mind? Like, were you feeling relaxed, excited? You just marked up some milestones. Ki these many people know me. My book has to be sold out. These many copies. What was going on in your mind?
Well, my book actually came out um during the pandemic.
Hmm.
Yeah, during the pandemic. So I initially um I was really excited. I will tell you, I was really excited, to publish a book. My face is on the cover of my US book. So I was excited. But during the pandemic, it was kind of, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of down. I was
Hmm.
like, wow, I missed my opportunity because my book came out, and like all the things that I had planned, they were totally obliterated because of the pandemic, and we had to make that shift to doing everything online. And I remember like feeling so deflated, so defeated, and that's the honest truth. And then now 4 years later, it became the number one book on Amazon in
Wow.
commercial fashion. So I was just, now when I look back on it, I'm like, you know what? I have a slow start, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to pick up,
True.
eventually. And I remember during this time when my book came out, April 14th, 2020, I also had my book came out also in the UK in March 2020. And again, it was such a down time, but my favorite author is Paulo Coelho, and he wrote the book The Alchemist,
Hmm.
and he wrote many other books, but The Alchemist is his the number one
True.
that everyone
Hmm.
knows.
Hmm.
And I remember like reading his story, and like how The Alchemist did not do well initially, and in the beginning, and then it slowly picked up. I was looking at Paulo Coelho, and also the Harry Potter series. Like I was just reading about these authors for inspiration. So I just remember Paulo Coelho had a rough start with The Alchemist, and then it became the number one book around the world. So I can tell you that was the time where my book came out live. Yeah, that it was not, I know it's not really a happy story, but that
Hmm.
was the story.
Definitely, ma'am. In fact, what I personally feel that, each and every book comes with their own fate. Like, they have
Yes.
their own journey. So,
Yes, it's true. This is true. I
yeah.
believe this.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so ma'am, like, as you mentioned that your book was a lockdown baby, right? What we can say
Yes,
that.
lockdown. Yes. I love this name. I need to say this now. My book was a
uh,
lockdown, baby.
yeah. So, what I have personally seen, ma'am, that after the first lockdown was over, the numbers of author got increased very rapidly, right? The book industry have seen a boom in this period, and as of now, what I personally feel that publishing has become much more easier as well, because we have Kindle Direct Publishing, lots of self-publishing
Hmm.
agents and literary agents are there.
Hmm.
So as of now, as you have completed this whole journey, and
Hmm.
more than hundreds of books are being published every week on Amazon. So
Yes.
how hard it has become to make your book stand out in the market as of now, according to you?
Oh, wow. This is the question. Okay. Well, I can tell you, because of the self-publishing industry, there are many people who have attempted to publish books on the psychology behind fashion. So, um has it been difficult for me to stand out? I would say yes and no. Yes, in the sense of, well, I would say no. I would say no first. No, in the sense of, I do believe if you do produce good work, I do believe my book is good, that it will stand out by itself. But in the sense of yes, because everyone began publishing books on the psychology of fashion. And I was really afraid that my readers wouldn't be able to distinguish the real from the fake, the original from the imposters, the inspiration versus the
Hmm,
duplicators,
hmm,
or so I was really afraid of that. But I had a few readers write me from around the world, and they actually told me, no, I've been in the airport, I read your book, I read the others, and you can tell as a reader that your book is the authentic version.
hmm.
So I will tell you, like, that was my
Wow.
experience. But I will say, if anyone is self-publishing a book, I am so supportive of people self-publishing. I'm also supportive of people who are with traditional publishers. I would say, for people who are with traditional, if you want to go with traditional publishing, I would say, if you want to mass distribute your book worldwide,
Hmm.
you should go with a traditional publisher. If you just want to distribute your book here and there to a certain audience, then I would say self-publish. So
Hmm.
I think there's enough room for all of us to exist. But yes, it was definitely a boom since the pandemic.
Definitely, ma'am, definitely. So, ma'am, like as of now, when it comes to, talking in a perspective of as an author or as a person, what are the things which you are focusing upon now?
What I'm focusing on now, believe it or not, I'm focusing on self-care. As an author, my book is in the self-help section, the psychology section. So I'm always giving advice, to my readers, to my students. But also, I have to remember that I must use the same advice and take care of myself.
Hmm.
So in this season of my life, I've actually been practicing what I preach, and like taking care of myself, pouring into myself, counseling my own self so that my mental health is good. And so I feel like I'm in like a cocoon, like a butterfly in a cocoon right
Mm-hmm.
now, and just taking care of myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So, ma'am, probably my last question to you of this podcast is, after listening to this podcast, many people will just love to start writing, or, they must be holding their first draft in the laptop, in the diary. So, when it comes to you, what advice would you like to give to those upcoming authors?
The advice that I would give to upcoming authors is, you have a story to tell. And if you have a story to tell, there are eyes that want to read that story. And don't let anyone tell you no and you accept it. I actually was turned down by 26 literary agencies
Wow.
before I landed um, um, a double publishing deal. I got turned down by 26, and I had been working on my book for a number of years. So please, whatever you do, don't take no for an answer. Whether you use a traditional publisher or you self-publish, there's always someone that's going to want to read your work. No matter if someone says no, there's no interest there. There's always interest. And this is someone who was turned down 26 times by literary agencies. And I was told that fashion books don't sell anymore. And now, my lockdown baby book, it was number one in commercial fashion on Amazon, and I'm still going. So don't take no for an answer, all you writers out there.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this lovely and inspiring conversation with Dr. Dawn. And if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. Don't forget to buy and read the book. You can just go on Amazon and you can search Dawnn Karen. You will get the book. Else you can search Dress Your Best Life, How to Use Fashion Psychology. You will get the book. Buy it, read it, share with your friends and family. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. It was my honor to be able to host it today.
Thank you for having me, and I would like to dedicate this to your brother. Thank you.
Thank you.